Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to continue with our second session, and we will look at the advantages of ESPD-EDM. So to take us through that particular session, it's a pleasure to welcome Paloma Arillo Aranda, who's Knowledge Management Assistant, ESPD-EDM Coordinator at the Publications Office of the European Union. Good afternoon. Hello, Paloma.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Can you see properly my screen?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, thank you very much. I will try to lead you during the next 10 minutes through what is the ESPD, what is also the EDM, and the advantages of using both of them. So let's imagine that Marianne works for a public authority in Belgium, and she wants to buy new chairs for her office. She will publish a notice in the Tenders Electronic Daily of the Publications Office, which is the central service for reception of public procurement. And her notice contains a short description of how the business can qualify to answer the tender. Also, all of the documents with the complete information for this tender will be published in TED. On the other side, we will have Balázs, who has a small furniture company in Hungary, and normally he sells to public buyers such as schools, hospitals, and so on. He starts thinking of selling his chairs in other EU countries, and searching in TED, he finds Marianne's tender. So he downloads all of the documents and starts checking if his company qualifies to answer the tender. However, proving that he qualifies, it's very time-consuming, and he starts finding that bidding in different countries is very complicated. On the top of it, he's not answering to a single tender, but to several ones at the same time, and that doesn't make his life easier. So that is, we have two main actors, public authorities in the European Union, which are the main buyers for several sectors such as energy, public health, and so on. And every year they purchase a very big amount of goods and services, what includes a very heavy workload in bureaucracy. The tenderers on their side, they have also a very big administrative burden to answer the tenders, especially if there are cross-border tenders, and especially if they are in the situation of Balázs, who owns a small or medium-sized company. Their national procurement systems and registers are not always integrated for these cross-border tenders, and usually they cannot reuse data. So the so-called paperwork for buyers and suppliers requires a lot of time. That was when the ESPD came into place. What's the ESPD? It means European Single Procurement Document, and it's just an electronic standard form that is used as a self-declaration for the business to state their financial status, their abilities, the suitability to answer a tender in a procurement procedure. That is, this form, it is used as a preliminary evidence of the economic operator that he fulfills all of the conditions to participate in these tenders. It is replacing the pre-qualification documents that are normally needed for all of the tenders and participating in cross-border tenders. So it simplifies the access to business, and it is filled only once, can be reused for any other tender. So the ESPD document doesn't come from heaven. It was introduced in year 2014 by the Directive 24. And the contents of the form itself, it was published in the regulation number 7 in year 2016, and it applies since April 2016. So contracting authorities can use this form in their request to express all of their exclusion grounds, and all of the selection criteria. And the companies, they can use it to declare in their response to this tender that they are not excluded of participating in the tender and they fulfill the selection criteria. How is this used? There is a service, and in our case, Marian, who wanted to buy the chairs, remember, she will just open the ESPD service offered by her country or any other service and will fill in her profile, selecting if she is the contracting authority or the economic operator. She will also select what she wants to do, the action. She wants to recycle a tender that she already had, an ESPD that she already had, or she wants to create a new one, which language she wants to publish, and in which country she is sitting. Once she has done this, she will start selecting the exclusion grounds. It means if the economic operator is accused of fraud, corruption, and so on, he is, of course, excluded. And she will start selecting the criteria that she will apply to the tender. For example, professional register, yearly turnover, the performance of the services, and anything that it's really listed in the form and she will need for her tender. Balázs, on his side, he will open also an ESPD service and he will declare that he's not in a situation that could exclude him from participating in the tender. And he will start filling in the selection criteria. That is, he fulfills all of them requested and he can qualify for the tender. He can submit the ESPD in any procurement platform, and the advantage is that he does not need to provide any evidence at this stage. Yeah, he will provide the evidence for what he's saying it's true only if he wins the tender. Both of them, they will be able to download from the service the form that they have been filling it as a PDF, which is more human readable, or as an XML format, which is more machine readable, although humans can also read it. Behind this form, there is an exchange data model that we call as an abbreviation ESPD-EDM. This model was developed by the European Commission to facilitate the exchange of the structured data of the form. Nowadays, it's the Publications Office who maintains and evolves the model. We evolved the model with the help and the input of the users of the ESPD. You are welcome to participate in our monthly meetings every last Thursday in the month. The model is just the technical representation of the data and of the structure of the form ESPD. It is taking the exclusion grounds and the selection criteria from the request, the contracting authority, and give them a standardized approach. And it's doing exactly the same with the administrative information that comes from the economic operator in the response, in the answer they send to the request. The model is based in the UBL standard. And this model, the advantage is that it allows any authority and the service providers to integrate the ESPD document into their own tools and systems so they can adjust, thanks to the model, their national ESPD service. This will ensure and ensures nowadays the accuracy of the data. The model also facilitates the export and the import of any data and any structure in the services and enables the exchange of the ESPDs between the different services. Another advantage that we can have from this model is really that the ESPD services are linked to the eCertis and to the national registers. The eCertis is a reference tool to identify the certificates that will be later needed to prove that your participation in public procurement is occurred. So the model is using an existing concepts and vocabularies, so they are not invented. We reuse the contents and vocabulary such as the core criterion and core evidence vocabulary. We use, as mentioned before, the OASIS UBL common information components, which is a syntax common used by different models. And we also use a standard way of modeling. This model is also connected directly to other procurement artifacts, such as the procurement ontology. We reuse the descriptions from the ontology, the terminology from the ontology, and the structure. The model is also linked to the e-forms, which are the legislative open standard for publishing procurement data. With the e-forms, we are sharing, again, the terminology, which also is linked to the ontology, the quality, and especially the analysis of data. There is a parallel analysis between the needs of e-forms and the ESPD. And as mentioned before, another used artifact is eCertis, and the model is the ESPD model is linked to it. That is really thanks to the model, the buyers, the economic operators, the developer teams, business experts, and any other interested party in public procurement will be able to reuse the public procurement data without having the need to retype and to reinvent the wheel. So this is all for my presentation. And I would like to offer you the possibility to send us any further question if you need to the email that you find as the first link is our common inbox. You are also invited to join and to share all of your requests in our GitHub issues, which is really interactive. All of the users are using it. And of course, to consult our artifacts in the second GitHub, or to consult all of our documentation, including the model, and joining our meetings, joining the ESPD EDM versioning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paloma. Thank you, and thank you for being sharp on time. So always appreciated for the following speakers. Paloma, I have a question for you, actually, because legislation was passed already 7 or 9 years ago. And are there any plans to develop further systems, further ESPD-EDM systems?
We are actually maintaining only the model, which is really continuously evolving, and we are planning now a new version. These systems are, for the time being, not offered by the Commission, which was outdated, I think it was 2018. There are some rumors and plans that have the possibility to reoffer the ESPD service.
But nothing definite at this stage
Nothing
yet.
definitive, because it's really higher level.
Okay, so our audience is going to have to keep a little more patient in order to get any feedback or any future plans on this. Well, Paloma, thank you very much. I don't have any further question, which means everything was very clear. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot also for sharing the contact details at which yourself and the team can be reached for further explanation. I'm sure our audience is very interested in that, as well as for offering the possibility to join your meetings every week. That's definitely the kind of thing the audience appreciates very much. So thanks a lot for being with us this afternoon, and bye-bye for now.
Bye, thank you.